All right, our next award is the Ag Hall of Fame Ag Advisor of the Year. This category recognizes individuals in ag-related programs and similar organizations who have influenced the industry through their leadership, guidance, and community involvement. This award is sponsored by Northwest Farm Credit Services. Would you please help me welcome to the stage Denny Trump, who will tell us a little about our 2019 Ag Hall of Fame Ag Advisor of the Year, Heidi Shattuck.
Thank you all very much, and I appreciate the opportunity to be able to talk about Heidi today. I am an agricultural educator by choice, not chance. I have repeated these words to myself almost every day for 14 years. And almost every day for 14 years, I have also had the honor of watching and learning from one of the best agricultural educators our profession has to offer. Her passion for her career and dedication to doing the job the right way is unparalleled. Heidi began her teaching career in Kashmir after graduating from Washington State University, go Cougs, in 1997. After 4 incredibly successful years with her teaching partner, Jim Cockle, she moved back to the Basin to start her family with her husband, Jim. She worked in the Kennewick School District for 2 years, where she and Jim enjoyed going to home football games and making cotton candy as a chapter fundraiser. But it did not take long before she landed the job in Connell, where she has made her legacy teaching for the last 16 school years. Through 3 different teaching partners, Heidi has remained the rock within the Connell FFA. She has coached students to state championships in job interview, extemporaneous speaking, agronomy, and conduct of chapter meetings. However, state championships are not what impresses me the most about her ability to lead students. It is her ability to involve such a large number of students and show them success in a wide variety of opportunities. Last year alone, she encouraged students to compete at the state level in the Spanish Creed, food science, dairy foods, veterinary science, farm for kids, agricultural sales, agronomy, apple judging, potato judging, tractor driving, and even parliamentary procedure. Most ag teachers that I know stick to their strengths, while Heidi embraces the challenge of new CDEs and learning right along with her students. Her ability to make each student feel respected, valued, and an important member of the chapter is something that cannot be taught. It is truly a gift. Heidi's strong community ties can be seen through the presence of the Blue Jackets at so many functions. Connell FFA members can be found serving at the Columbia Basin Junior Livestock Show barbecue, volunteering at the Basin City Food Bank, wrapping presents at the Connell Methodist Church, riding a float in the parade, or presenting at the Franklin County Cattlemen's Association, just to name a few. She truly understands the importance of volunteerism and instills that value within her students and her own children. When Heidi isn't at school, she enjoys spending time with her own family, her husband Jim and her 3 children, Mackenzie, Delaney, and Hardy. The kids keep her on her toes, raising and showing sheep, rodeoing, and playing sports. To say that the kids have inherited a competitive spirit from Jim and Heidi is an understatement. Whatever they do, they want to do it very well. Both girls were members of the state champion conduct of chapter meetings team that competed at National Convention this fall. Delaney was the 2018 state champion junior high goat tire, and Hardy is following in his sister's footsteps by tackling the opponents on his grade kids football team. All 3 of the kids show at the local fairs and have racked up the purple ribbons. Heidi is not only an inspirational colleague and mother, but my most cherished friend. It is with great honor that I have the privilege of introducing the 2019 Mid-Columbia Ag Hall of Fame inductee in agricultural education, Mrs. Heidi Shattuck.
I'd grown up around agriculture and farming and raising animals. My ag teacher was Buddy Miller. I graduated from Pasco High. I really enjoyed FFA and I really enjoyed all of my agriculture classes. I went to WSU and I quickly changed my major to ag education, and I student taught in Prosser and loved being around the kids and outside of the school environment, and visit their projects at home and take kids to contests and be in fairs. I'm really fortunate to be in a really awesome community the North Franklin School District has. Parents drop their kids off and they drop off great kids. I teach welding, and I'll have kids that totally are struggling, and sometimes you can go in the booth and like hold their hands and guide them, and they get it, and then they can do it on their own. And then I have kids that go way above and beyond and do a lot of FFA competitions, and I get to spend a lot of time with them and get to know them and their families. I do something different every period of the day. Every day is a new day, and it's never boring, it's never monotonous, and that is probably the best parts of my job. I've been here at Connell for 16 years, and I've been teaching for 20 years, so really, I like what I do. It allows me the opportunity to raise my family and have my own children here at the school, and I like working with kids, and I will probably teach here till I retire.
So here to present the Ag Advisor of the Year Award is Mandy Galbraith with Northwest Farm Credit Services.
All right, first of all, I'd like to congratulate all the recipients tonight. It's quite an honor to be in the same room and in the same category as some of these people. They're pretty amazing, and they've had a lot of outstanding success in their fields. And I'd like to start really quick by talking about how I made it here to the Columbia Basin. Rob Davis talked about a lot of the exciting and attributes of the Columbia Basin. And as the saying goes, if you want to own your own farm, you pretty much have to marry it or inherit it. And that a lot of you guys can probably attest to that. And my dad had a dream of owning his own farm. And we grew up in Walla Walla. He was from a fairly poor family. And he was able to purchase a farm out in Block 16 my freshman year of high school. It was about 1989. It was really exciting. And so that brought us from Walla Walla to the Columbia Basin out north of Pasco. And with that, I started my freshman year at Pasco High. And there's a few people out here that I went to high school with. I went to high school with Colin at Pasco High. And yes, and it brought me to my very first period of the day, and I walked into Mr. Miller's class, and it was my first period ag class, and some of you may know Buddy Miller. He was an ag teacher at Pasco High School for years and years, and was a graduate of Connell High School, and was, I think, one of the best ag teachers in our state, and unfortunately he passed away. But he was an inspiration to a lot of us, and that's kind of what brought me here today. And we've all had a teacher that inspired us. Most of us have those one or two teachers that we really remember that pushed us to do something outside of our comfort zone, or, that we think back and we, remember high school fondly or remember school fondly because of that one teacher that inspired us to do something a little more. And for me, that was Mr. Miller. And he got me involved in fairs and FFA, and I kind of found my place and had a lot of success, and I thought, this is something that I want to do for the rest of my life and be able to instill these experiences in other high school kids. And I'm sure there's lots of you guys who are FFA alumni out there and had some great FFA experiences and some great experiences when you were in high school ag class. So I graduated from Pasco High and went to Washington State University, and I was able to major in agriculture education and combine two of my passions, and that's a passion for agriculture and a passion for working with young people. And I've had the pleasure of working with 3 schools, but I really found that I found my home when I came to Connell High School. I walked in the door for my interview, and Jan Mossett and Pat Haley and some of the others were sitting in there in the office, and it was such a welcoming place, and I just really felt at home, and I just have really never aspired to go anywhere else because I really enjoy it there. And we've had a lot of success, and I really attribute that to a lot of the administrators. We've had fantastic administrators. We've had fantastic counselors. We have one of them out there today. We've had some great CTE directors. Jerry Ringwood, one of our former Hall of Fame inductees, is out there today, and he was a fantastic administrator and very hard to replace. And I've also had the pleasure of working with a lot of great teachers. And the ag teacher community is a pretty tight-knit community. I could pretty much tell you the name of a teacher at every high school in the state of Washington. Deneen Trump, that just introduced me, she's an agricultural teacher, and it's a very tight-knit group that is willing to help you at the drop of a hat. We were able to hire a new teacher this year, Charlie Danzy, and he and his wife are here today, and it's just a pleasure to work with such great people who are out there willing to help kids and wanting to help kids. And so since I'm a teacher, I have a little bit of a quick quiz. So this is, I see Bill Shibley up here, okay? So I'm totally gonna pick on him because he's kind of got a little bit of a competitive nature. We went to a sheep skillathon, and I think he was the reigning adult champion of the sheep skillathon for several years. And I gave him a run for his money. I think I still came in second. But is there anyone out there who could tell me what the top 5 agricultural commodities are in Washington State? Can you give me one, Bill? Milk. Yes, it is. All right. Apples. Okay, milk and apples. Grapes is not, although we do really well in grape production, but cherries is number 7. Okay, wheat, milk, apples, potatoes, thank you, and cattle and calves. And that's according to receipts. And a shout out to all the hay farmers out there. We're number 6 in hay. Okay, so those are our top 5 agricultural commodities. And a big thanks to that is the vast agricultural production we have right here in the Columbia Basin. And a lot of that is due to the awesome soil and weather and irrigation that Rob talked about. But one thing I'd like to talk about is the most important thing that we raise is our kids. And, kids are pretty important to me. And I've had there's some graduated kids here today that it gets me so excited to talk to them and see how successful they are. And parents send their most important thing that they have, and the most important thing that they have is their children. And they send them to school and they hope that we'll do the best that we can for them. And I would just like to say that the community of North Franklin has sent us some fantastic kids, and I really am blessed to be able to work with them. And I'd like to thank my family for being super supportive, my husband Jim and my 3 children. And it's really important that I get to be with them. That's the one thing that is really exciting about being a teacher and being able to involve them in all the things that we do at our school. And I'd just like to thank the Hall of Fame organization. And it's just really nice to be appreciated. So thank you very much.
Has it always been on?